Good morning and welcome to Daily Briefing. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sarah. August 24th, 2026.
Quick check of the weather here in Parker. 63 degrees Fahrenheit and clear skies right now, heading up to a high of 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Low tonight, 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Today, we are looking at a historic and sober turning point in autonomous warfare in Ukraine, alongside major new financial moves targeting Iran out of Washington.
Plus some massive shifts in tech, finance, and space exploration. Let's get into it.
Starting off in global news, a reporting breakthrough from the New York Times highlights a terrifying milestone on the battlefield. An autonomous strike drone guided entirely by artificial intelligence has killed 3 people in Ukraine.
This is being tracked as a fully automated lethal engagement. No human operator stepping in to confirm the target at the final second.
Exactly. We have watched AI tools creep into intelligence, surveillance, and target identification for years, but a fully automated kill chain operating end-to-end without a human in the loop changes the entire equation.
And it really underscores just how rapidly and controversial these AI-driven combat technologies are being deployed in modern warfare right now. The ethical and operational guardrails are essentially being rewritten in real time on the ground.
It puts intense pressure on international regulators who are still trying to draft basic frameworks while the technology is already operational in active combat zones.
Staying with the conflict in Europe, Ukraine's allies are currently convening in Kyiv today as President Volodymyr Zelensky makes another urgent appeal for air defense systems.
Zelensky is looking for an immediate boost in strategic military hardware. The timing is critical because Russian forces have heavily escalated their air bombardments across the country.
Right, so this summit in Kyiv is really about securing those high-end air defense batteries right now to shield key infrastructure and population centers from these relentless barrages.
Meanwhile, looking at cybersecurity risks tied to the region, authorities in Slovakia just uncover a Russian backdoor embedded directly inside traffic speed camera systems.
That is wild. Traffic speed cameras?
Yes, municipal infrastructure that seems completely routine on the surface. But finding state-sponsored Russian backdoors in public traffic cameras demonstrates how deep these cyber risks go.
It shows that state actors are targeting standard civic hardware, potential leverage points for surveillance or disruption down the road.
Turning to the Middle East, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has announced plans for what he calls the greatest financial offensive ever against Iran.
He is laying out measures to completely sever all economic ties and slap sanctions on foreign partners who continue doing business with Tehran.
The goal here is to maximize economic pressure to an unprecedented level amid escalating geopolitical conflict across the region.
When you talk about targeting foreign partners who deal with Iran, that sets up a massive secondary sanctions push. That means Washington is telling third countries they have to choose between trading with Iran or maintaining access to the U.S. financial system.
It is a massive escalation in economic warfare.
Coming up, we will look at fresh violence in India, changing U.S. visa costs, and a big century on the cricket pitch.
Turning to India and Tamil Nadu, fresh violence has erupted in the state of Manipur. A paramilitary soldier was injured in a shooting, and several houses were set on fire during the clashes.
It is a sharp reminder of the persistent security instability in Manipur. The state continues to suffer from severe conflict, and this latest surge in fighting shows how fragile the situation remains.
Moving over to international policy affecting Indian nationals, the U.S. administration is planning new fee structures for both H-1B visas and optional practical training, or OPT, extensions.
That is going to cause a lot of concern. Indian students and technology professionals in the U.S. are expected to feel a direct financial pinch from these added costs.
Absolutely. H-1B visas and OPT extensions are primary pathways for foreign tech talent and international graduates in the U.S., so any fee hikes hit those communities immediately.
And on the sports front in India, Day 2 of the test match against Sri Lanka saw a dominant performance. Dhruv Jurel scored a brilliant century to power India to 503 for 9 before declaring,
That strong batting performance puts India in a commanding position in the series, setting up a tough chase for Sri Lanka.
When we come back, we will dive into big market shifts, decentralized finance exploits, and major shakeups in global hiring.
Let's talk markets. We have a historic first in the digital asset space out of Asia. Standard Chartered has become the first commercial bank to distribute a Hong Kong dollar-denominated stablecoin.
That is a notable leap for institutional adoption. We have seen crypto-native firms issue fiat-backed tokens for years, but having a global commercial bank like Standard Chartered step directly into distributing a Hong Kong dollar stablecoin brings serious traditional finance backing.
Exactly. It marks a major milestone in integrating fiat-backed digital assets directly into Asian capital markets and standard banking infrastructure.
Meanwhile, in the decentralized finance world, we're seeing the exact opposite side of the coin when it comes to risk. The Ethereum lending platform Term Finance just lost $8.5 million in an exploit.
Walk me through how this happened, because it was not a traditional code bug.
Right, the attacker actually bought up a majority of the protocol's governance voting power. Once they controlled the vote, they passed a governance proposal to drain the funds directly out of the app.
Wow, okay. So they essentially used the platform's own decentralized governance mechanics against it.
Precisely. It highlights a massive, structural vulnerability in DeFi protocols where governance rights can be bought up on the open market to force through malicious state changes.
On the broader institutional side of crypto, US spot Bitcoin ETFs just logged massive numbers. Weekly net inflows hit $1.92 billion.
That is their strongest single week of inflows since October 2025.
And that capital surge accompanied a temporary push in Bitcoin's spot price right past the $70,000 mark.
It shows there is still immense institutional appetite driving those spot funds when momentum swings back.
Switching to labor markets, there is some very bleak news for new graduates in the United Kingdom. Job listings for graduates dropped by almost 50% year-over-year in July.
Adzuna released the figures, showing just 8,383 graduate positions available across the entire UK. That is cut nearly in half in 12 months.
What is driving such a drastic pullback by employers?
Adzuna points to two main pressure points: rapidly rising corporate operating costs and the accelerating implementation of AI automation for entry-level tasks.
That is a tough combination. Rising overhead pushes companies to trim entry-level headcount, and AI tools step in to absorb the administrative work that used to be handed to junior staff.
It creates a real structural hurdle for anyone trying to enter the professional job market right now.
Over in retail and public listings, the fast fashion giant Shein is setting its sights on a market valuation of nearly $27 billion for its upcoming stock market debut in Hong Kong.
They are targeting a debut date of September 1st.
This Hong Kong listing comes after a lot of regulatory drama, right?
It really does. Shein previously tried to go public in London and the US, but regulatory hurdles derailed those attempts. So now all eyes are on Hong Kong to see if they can clear the bar and hit that $27 billion target.
Finally, in business, a major media merger is hitting severe regulatory turbulence in California. State Attorney General Rob Bonta has officially suspended settlement talks with Paramount over its massive $111 billion deal with Warner Brothers. Discovery.
Attorney General Bonta was pretty blunt about it, saying he will meet with them when they, quote, stop playing games.
That is strong language coming from a top legal officer. California is taking a hard line on Paramount's negotiating tactics.
It creates a huge roadblock. A $111 billion consolidation between Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery already faces intense antitrust scrutiny, and losing progress on settlement talks in California stalls the whole timeline.
Up next, we have critical updates on AI cyber threats, space exploration, and a breakthrough in cancer research. On the tech and security side, cybersecurity researchers have uncovered a sophisticated Chinese-linked threat actor operating under the identifier UAT 10147.
What makes this group so dangerous is how they are pairing AI tools with deep system-level malware to scale up server attacks globally.
Right? They deploy a specialized toolkit called Spectre, which includes rootkits designed for Linux systems that can bypass standard endpoint detection and response systems completely.
Using AI allows them to automate and scale those web server breaches across the globe at a pace that traditional defense teams struggle to match. It is a potent combination of automated intelligence and stealthy, low-level rootkit deployment.
Turning to global health and crisis response, an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo has reached 5,515 confirmed cases.
That high case count has sparked urgent appeals for international action. Even Pope Leo has spoken out, pressing global health organizations and world leaders to accelerate relief efforts and contain the virus immediately.
Containing Ebola at that scale requires massive logistical and medical resources on the ground, so international mobilization is vital.
Shifting to deep tech and scientific breakthroughs, scientists in New York have achieved something incredible in quantum networking. They successfully transmitted quantum signals through 13 miles of open air without using fiber optic cables.
13 miles through the open atmosphere? How significant is that compared to traditional glass fiber cables?
It is huge. Signals moving through fiber optics decay over long distances and require physical infrastructure, but proving you can beam quantum states through open air opens the door to unhackable satellite-to-ground networks and atmospheric quantum internet links.
That is a massive leap forward for long-range, secure communications.
Moving off Earth and into deep space, NASA has officially funded 18 advanced concept proposals. One of the standout ideas is a plan to deploy 10,000 miniaturized femtosats directly to Saturn.
Femtosats are tiny, ultra-lightweight satellites, right?
Exactly. Instead of sending one massive, multi-billion-dollar flagship probe, the goal is to swarm the Saturnian system with 10,000 tiny sensors. It is a low-cost, high-volume approach to interplanetary exploration.
Speaking of Saturn, NASA is also pushing forward on another major mission targeting its massive moon, Titan. 8 years from now, NASA plans to launch Dragonfly, a nuclear-powered rotorcraft.
A rotorcraft flying through Titan's atmosphere is just fascinating. Titan has a thick atmosphere and weather systems where it literally rains liquid methane.
Right, and because it is nuclear-powered, Dragonfly can fly to multiple locations across Titan's surface to investigate prebiotic chemical processes and search for biosignatures in that bizarre environment.
Closer to Earth orbit, SpaceX just set another operational landmark with its Falcon 9 program. Booster B-1067 just completed its 36th successful launch and landing cycle in barely 5 years.
Put that in perspective. When SpaceX originally built these boosters, the initial goal was 10 flights without major refurbishment. B-1067 has now flown 36 times.
It is now just 3 flights away from matching the 39 missions completed by the Space Shuttle Discovery across its entire operational lifetime. That demonstrates an incredible level of hardware reusability in commercial spaceflight.
And finishing tech with a major health development. Researchers at the National University of Singapore have discovered a drug compound that turns off the primary driver protein in aggressive breast cancers.
This targeted therapy disables what scientists call the master switch in these aggressive tumors, offering a highly promising new avenue for treating drug-resistant cancer strains that do not respond to standard treatments.
Coming up, we will wrap things up with sports updates and a tribute to a mid-century Hollywood icon. Turning to sports and culture, Wyndham Clark captured the BMW Championship title in a tight finish on the PGA Tour.
Clark managed to hold off top competitors Rory McIlroy and Patrick Cantlay down the stretch to seal the victory.
That marks Clark's third PGA Tour victory of the year, putting him in fantastic form heading into the end of the season.
Over on the tennis court, Coco Gauff claimed the Cincinnati Open women's singles title by defeating her close friend and countrywoman Jessica Pegula in the final.
Immediately after the match, Gauff shared a very emotional tribute acknowledging Pegula and highlighting their deep personal bond off the court.
It was a really classy moment, seeing two top-tier competitors show that level of mutual respect right after competing for a major title.
In entertainment news, we are mourning the loss of actress Shelley Fabre, who has passed away at the age of 82.
Shelley Fabre was beloved for her iconic role on The Donna Reed Show and famously starred opposite Elvis Presley in several films during her mid-century screen career.
Her career spanned decades across classic television and film, leaving a lasting legacy in American entertainment.
Finally today, Disney is facing a severe legal challenge. An actress from the movie Proof Point has filed a negligence lawsuit against the company, alleging that Disney knew about on-set sexual assaults and failed to act.
The lawsuit asserts that Disney was negligent in protecting young performers and explicitly claims production environments were not safe for children.
These are deeply serious allegations concerning safety protocols and corporate accountability on production sets, and this legal action is going to put Disney's past internal oversight under intense public scrutiny.
From fully autonomous drone strikes to leaps in quantum tech and deep space missions, the pace of change across global security, technology, and industry is moving remarkably fast today.
Thanks for tuning in to Daily Briefing. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Take care, everyone.